this my copy?
Sure.
I thought that was
Yeah, that's
pretty
right.
cool.
That was
You just now finding out, buddy.
Yeah.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everyone for being here and those watching on TV. First order of business, the election results. Everybody has this in front of them. Do I have a motion to accept the election results as presented?
I move to accept the election results.
I have a motion.
I
Second.
will second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have accepted the results. Now I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Motion's made, second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Second.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. So we do,
So,
Corey will do the oath of office.
yeah, I'll be ready to do the oath of office if Chad would come up and Jim. This out of the way. Just make sure I'm not standing in front of the camera. I'm a real blocker of that. So, all right, so raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Chad Walton,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the ordinances of the City of Herman,
and the ordinance of the City of Herman,
and that I possess all qualifications
that I possess all qualifications
prescribed for said office,
prescribed for said office,
and that I will faithfully demean myself in
that I will faithfully repeat myself in
the office to which I was elected.
the office of which I was elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
hey. Will you join me on the floor?
Nice working with you.
It's your emancipation proclamation.
You have to stand up here with me.
7 years.
Okay.
Garrett was elected.
Doing a proclamation in appreciation for our Alderman Derek Leroy. Whereas Derek Leroy has diligently served as Alderman for the First Ward of the City of Herman during the period of April 6, 2021 through April 14, 2025, a tenure of 4 years. And whereas Derek Leroy has given of himself and his personal time to the City of Herman during this term of office to an extent well in excess of the usual call of duty. And whereas the Mayor and the Board of Aldermen of the City of Herman, Missouri desire to express our appreciation to Derek for his exemplary service of 4 years as a Board of Aldermen liaison to the Tourism Commission. And whereas Derek will be remembered as a loyal, trustworthy example of the finest kind of Herman official and civic volunteer, even serving as a volunteer firefighter for the Herman area. Now therefore it is hereby proclaimed by Mayor of the City of Herman, Missouri, on behalf of the Board of Aldermen and other officials and citizens of the City of Herman, that a public expression of appreciation shall be and hereby is given this day to Derek Leroy. Be it further proclaimed that the original of this proclamation is presented to Derek Leroy in recognition of the esteem in which he is held. In witness whereof I have hereon set my hand and cause the official seal of the City of Herman, Missouri to be affixed this 14th day of April 2024. Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure working with you. Speech. Can I get your signature on this just real quick before we get back to business?
Gotta make it official.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. We will call the meeting to order with our newly elected officials. Welcome aboard. So first order of business is a motion to elect the president of the Board of Aldermen.
I make a motion that we elect Ash as the president.
I have a motion to elect Ash. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I will second. I didn't know if I could second myself.
She seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. All right. Move on to mayor's report. A little bit longer than normal for me. But first of all, today, if you didn't know it, is Line Worker Appreciation Day. And I just want to say a big thank you to our workers here in Herman. They do a hell of a job, and I'm very proud of all of them. I don't think the people of Herman really realize how fortunate we are. You know, when all the big storms hit, you know, if you watch the news, Union Electric people and all around us don't have electric. But Herman, we always do. You know, if it goes out, it's on within a very, very short period of time. So hats off to our line workers. Big trash day this year will be May 3rd, and it will be the curbside pickup. Just so mark your calendars for that. And then also the what they call Show Me Green sales tax holiday for Energy Star certified new appliances up to $1,500 per appliance during a 7-year period beginning 12:01 a.m. on April 19th and ending midnight on April 25th. So, and the only other thing I had, everybody got a book in front of them. This is basically for the new people, but I thought, I read that book and I thought it was pretty good information that we should all, and it's basically the role of an alderman and what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do business. So I just thought it was a good thing that everybody had that, not just him. So, and I believe that's all I have. We'll move on to city administrator.
Thank you. Sales and lodging tax are both up 2% over last year to date, so that is holding strong. The first draft of the budget is progressing. I'm dedicating the vast majority of my time on it with the May 1 deadline approaching. And then, of course, we will, as soon as I get that distributed to you, then we'll need to decide on our first workshop date. The porch, it's done for now. So there is, if you've noticed, there's no awning and there's no additional concrete across the front. So the city engineer was trying to save us some money, and unbeknownst to me, he took those items out of the project scope. So if we want to do those in the future, we'll need to do that at another time. So it's done for now. So the next thing is the company called SCI that's going to do the soil testing and boring around the building. They were here today to locate utilities, and if you notice, they painted out there where they marked utilities and where they're going to bore. Friday, they're going to do the exterior soil boring, and then next Tuesday, they're going to do the interior ones, which will be in the community center itself. The comp plan. We had an element meeting last Friday. It was the Economic Development and Tourism meeting. We had the largest participation thus far, so that was good. The remaining two are going to be land use and housing, and we expect big participation on those as well. And those should be scheduled soon. I don't have a date yet. Ann hasn't reached out, but I would suspect in May. And we have settled on a date and more of a plan firmed up for Officer Mason Griffith's memorial dedication. In coordination with the MyFest parade organizers, we've asked Officer Adam Solentrup to be our Grand Marshal, which is exciting. And then we're going to advertise that immediately following the parade for people to join us at the riverfront and do the dedication then. Chief thought that was a good idea as well. The ambulance and the fire trucks will already be mobilized, and so, you know, normally the parade route, people would end making a right on Gutenberg. Those who want to participate can just hang a left, go straight down to the riverfront. Again, we'll advertise for the parade for people to join us afterwards, and so maybe we'll get some good attendance doing it that way, as people will already be out and about. And with Adam being the Grand Marshal, thought that would all kind of work together well. So all the details are coming together. Just kind of waiting on the weather. Our guys are gonna pour the concrete down by the pavilion. We have the sign, it just needs to be installed. Lampkins have so generously volunteered to build the masonry platform for the bronze plaque itself. So yes, it's all coming along. So My Fest Sunday after the parade. I don't even know if I've told you this yet, Mary, the Arbor Day celebration this year, which you usually try to participate in, is April 25th, 1:15 in the park. And it was Line Workers Appreciation Day today. Next week is Administrative Professionals Day, so I want to give some accolades to our amazing office staff for being great administrative professionals, and we'll celebrate that next week. Thank you.
Okay. Public Works Director.
I'll be a little long-winded tonight between the long break and then everything going crazy this time of year. I got a lot to report on. So. The Parks Department has been working on the pool. They got the cleaning on the big pool almost completed. Obviously mowing and weed eating have also begun, so they've been working on that. They've also been working on the Riverfront Memorial for Officer Griffith. The Water Department has been spending the majority of their time down on Schiller. I'm sure many people have seen that. I'd like to thank them for their hours this last week. I kind of explained to you guys what happened, but we struck the manhole at the board. I'll go in further in the sewer report. But they put in a lot of hours, and I appreciate them. They've also repaired a water leak and repaired a hydrant at Bavarian Hills. On the gas side, I spoke to USDI today, and they believe that the repairs will be made to the McKittrick station before the end of this fiscal year. They've got the rack built, everything's ready to go. They just need to get down here and install it. And we've set the date of May 14th for the Luter Island Cemetery bore pre-bid. On sewers, I had previously stated that bore for the water main struck a sewer main. The sewer department and the contractor both had opened that manhole to locate the utilities. Unbeknownst to them, there was an incorrectly constructed drop on the exterior of the manhole that changed the elevation from approximately 7 feet down to the flow line that we had measured, which was 10'11". And of course, we decided that if the water line's at 4 feet and the sewer main's at 10'11", we'll just go right in the middle. And we hit that thing dead center. I'd like to thank Jason and Mike and Todd. I think in 48 hours we worked 38. So hats off to them for putting in their time. I'd also like to thank the guys at Lamke Construction for sticking with the project and helping us get it completed. Couldn't have done it without any of them. Todd worked all night on Thursday into Friday morning, helping us flag traffic. So we got it all done. Jason had talked to Lamke today, and it sounds like they're not going to bill us for any of their hours or time. They said, we looked at it just the same as you. We thought that we knew what was going on just the same as you, and it sounds like we're just going to be out the materials for the new manhole and sewer pipe that we installed. In concrete, I guess, for the patch. The UV system is online and running good. They've been keeping up on that. The electric department has replaced a pole on West 8th Street, down kind of by Lions Field. They connected a new service in Seattle. They've begun working on tearing down the old service and distribution that fed the old Florsheim building, the Stonehill bottling plant there. They've also started logging some data for single-phase pad mount transformers into the mapping system. And we replaced a pole down at First and Reserve as part of the Reserve Street Reconductor project. Streets has replaced a culvert at East 11th Street Alley in Schiller, and they've begun mowing. They've installed public parking signs at the parking lot on East 2nd Street. They've been continuing to sweep as many streets as possible. They're trying to remove all the cinders from this year's snowfall. Obviously, we had way more snow than we've had in recent years, so there's a lot more cinders out there. So if your street still has cinders on it, know that they're working on it and trying to get to it with the time they've got. They've also patched several cutouts from water and sewer repairs around town. That leads me into Travis redid our scope of our 5-year plans. Due as we spoke with the delays on Schiller Street, we got behind the curve on that. So for this year, we're going to move the projects into early this summer instead of late this spring like we typically do. So for the early part of the fiscal year 25-26, the plan is 13th Street, we're going to repair some curb and gutter up there as we had discussed. 11th Street from Gasconade to Schiller is going to get some curb and gutter and new asphalt. Schiller is obviously going to get new asphalt all the way down. I think there's a couple curb repairs there as well. And then repairs that need to be made from last year's contractor at 10th and Sand Plant. The only thing that we've changed on this outline is the 100 block of East 5th Street. We moved that back to try to get us kind of back on the timeline that we had previously slated. If somehow we can catch up and get back ahead, obviously we'll try to move that back up. But that at this time is the only thing that's moved from the last time we've discussed this list. Any questions?
Could we get a copy of that?
Yeah, I can forward it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody have questions? Again, thank you for what you do. Appreciate all your people. Okay, we'll move on to public comments. Mr. Sitton.
Corey, I want to be sure it's recorded in the minutes that I'm speaking as a concerned citizen and not a city employee. Board of Aldermen, you've got to answer some questions. And it should have been done long before now. How did your electric system get so messed up? What happened? Why wasn't it brought up 5 years ago or 4 years ago? Who covered it up? And how do we go from a 7.5 increase 1 week and 2 weeks later we're at 21.5? Numbers don't jive. I have some suggestions. You have to look at your electric department as a part of your main budget, not single it out. And my suggestion would be, with a 4% increase this year, the rest of it would come out of the other departments. You're not going to be able to do capital improvements. Then, next year, an additional 4%. Hopefully, by the end of next year, you'll be back, close to being back in the black and not in the red. However, I would still encourage you on a third year to go to a 3% increase, just to get yourself some breathing space. If you go to the 7.5% increase, you need to do something for the citizens. We didn't create the problem. The problem was created in this room. I would recommend the $30 meter fee be waived to help the citizens out. But you've got 48% of your community, or roughly 50%, is senior citizens living on a fixed income. And I don't know how much you know about what's being cut, but there's a lot being cut. If you stand on the 21.5% increase that was brought up at the last meeting I attended, my recommendation, as I said, these are my recommendations. Remove all meter fees and remove the sales tax from utilities. You can't keep taxing people to death, and that's just what we're doing. Had this been corrected when it first surfaced, you could have probably got by with a 2% increase. Excuse me. And then you might have came up with another 1% a year or so later, or 2 years later. It didn't happen. I don't know why. That's not my problem. That's yours. You're the people that this community is elected to represent them, and you need to start doing your job. The mayor said he handed out something on the alderman. I encourage every one of you to read what's in there. I also encourage you to read what's on your utility advisory board. You need to know what you're expected to do. I'm going to stand here. There's only one of you here that know it. If you can't straighten this out and you go to 21.5%, sell the utilities. You can't manage it. That's the bottom line. I hate to be that blunt, but my phone hasn't shut off since the newspaper came out Wednesday. And if yours, some of you got calls, you didn't answer them. Some of you didn't call people back. That's not on me, that's on you. You are elected by the people, to serve the people. And you need to take your job serious. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay. Nancy?
I'm Nancy Satray, 109 East 3rd Street. I'm disappointed when I read in the paper the 7.5% and then 21.5% increase on electric. It doesn't make any sense. And the reason it doesn't make any sense to most of us is that for years we've heard how this electric company is making us so much money. No way are we going to sell it. It's just making so much money. Being a business owner myself, I can't understand how you could get to this point without noticing it's happening sooner. And I don't believe you can push it off on tariffs and all that stuff. This has been going on for a while to reach this point, and it's just ridiculous. And you guys, just like Mr. Sitton said, you know, we've elected you, you're getting paid, we trust you, we're supposed to trust you with taking care of this business. And I don't think you've done a good job. This just doesn't make any sense to anybody. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that think that. A lot of people won't show up and say anything. But you're going to hurt not only the senior citizens, people who are on fixed incomes. I mean, the utility rates are terrible on those people already, especially with all these old homes. But what about the hospital? What about the school? What about all the other businesses? And how are you going to bring in young families? I mean, all I've heard for a couple years now is the guest houses are the problem. That's what's causing nobody to have a home here. Well, if you can't afford to pay the utilities, you can't afford a home here either. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I just wanted to let you know that I think the whole thing stinks. And I didn't come to the workshop because I missed it for other reasons, but I think you need to have another workshop. You've had other workshops for other things when not a lot of people showed up. And I think you need to do it again. You need to be thinking serious about what you're doing. I mean, this is just wrong to go that much that fast. I mean, how are people supposed to survive? Everything's going up, I know, but this just doesn't seem right at all. And if you can't do a better job, if somebody can't see that it's getting to where it's difficult to pay your bills and stuff, that person should not be handling the business part of this. I mean, I've been here for 31 years and I ran my business, and it's not a big business, but I don't owe people money, and I raise my rates as I need to, or I lower my rates. But somebody here doesn't know what they're doing. And if you can't do it, then maybe you need to get rid of the people that are doing it and put somebody else in that place. That's That's all I've got to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, that's all the public comments. We'll move to old business. And old business is to discuss the electric utility rates. We had our workshop, and I think we said that, everybody go home and try and come up with some ideas or suggestions. So I guess that's where we're at, I'm assuming. If anybody wants to take the floor and make a comment or suggestion, feel free.
I'll speak first. Needless to say, 7.5 was a big apple for me to swallow. Then we were blindsided with a 21.5. I thought I was going to have to leave the room and go to the bathroom. To me, it kind of equates to some old sayings, is you can't eat an elephant all at one time, but one bite at a time you can do it. Or another one is by the inch, it's a cinch, by the yard, it's hard. And friends, we have an elephant, and he's only a yard away from us. And I agree with what's been stated. This hasn't happened in the last 5 to 10 years. It's kind of been declining, but I haven't seen at the Board of Aldermen been brought up asking for any type of a raise increase. Now, it has been discussed at Utility Advisory, I think last August or September, but it never got to the board until January or February. So to kind of sum that up is, I see Nash had wrote something down at our workshop, may be onto something. Maybe we take a small step, 5% increase. I know it's not going to stop the bleeding. We got a major wound, we can put a Band-Aid on it and evaluate it from there. And also the UAB supposedly looked at other alternatives. So Mr. Charlie had said that, well, we hadn't seen those either. So I would like to kick it back to UAB, which they have a meeting tomorrow night, to see what other ideas that they have, how we can get out of this situation to resolve it. Or the other thing that was discussed at the workshop is, do we need to find a different provider for our electricity? If revenue doesn't cover our expenses, the easy way is to increase your revenue, increase your rates. The best business-wise is to look at your expenses and reduce what you can. I know all about the economy, where a bolt now, 10 years ago was a nickel, now it's $5. But our end users have the same problem. That's all I have at this time. I do have some suggestions, but let's hear what other people may have.
I did make notes last week Monday, and I think the 21.5 is nobody. I doubt even the Public Works Director wanted to even suggest that. But numbers don't lie, and a lot of it is not from mismanagement, is straight up materials that we absorbed in last year's budget and didn't pass that off to the citizens, but can't keep doing that forever. I think a maybe not a modest increase of, it was suggested 21.5%, maybe in the 25-26 budget we look at something like 10 or 11, and then see where we're at, projecting out, and then we can go from there with modified increases for each successive year. I know the 12% or 11% or 10% won't cover the projected $652,000 in debt that the utility is going to have at the end of this fiscal year, but we can maybe dial it in with some other ideas to narrow that gap.
Well, the only thing I have to say is, it took 11 years to get the electric department where it's at right now. This did not happen overnight. I cannot sit here personally and say it's a good thing to charge the customers 21.5% increase. I will not vote for it. I will not have anything to do with it. It was stated at the meeting of our workshop that this 21.5% was going to generate $806,000 in 1 year. I've been going over the information that I received from the city on the revenue and expense and financial statements. I personally could not come up with the revenue in the budget that was put in the budget, the revenue and expense just for electric, the sales of electric and the purchase. To me, it looks like the revenue was shot low and the expense was shot high. I think I did mention that at the budget meeting last year, but I was told we were going to have a substantial increase in electric charges. I haven't seen that happen. So I would personally like to sit down with Jesse and Trish and go over some of these figures to make sure that in my mind I am not losing it here. Because putting a 21.5%, you might as well close the hospital if you're going to put a 21.5% increase on the electric, and that's. I mean, this is to me. This is serious. This is something that really needs to be checked into.
Do you have any comment?
Well, I would like to see another workshop, that's for sure. So I hope that's on the plan. And maybe we can come up with something that we can all agree on. Because we have to move forward. We can't just, we're in the hole, so we have to move forward.
Right. No,
I'd like to hear a little input from, and I will try to attend tomorrow night's meeting of the UAB board. I mean, that's the advisory board that, city has put in place. I'd really like to hear some more from them.
We can't change the past, and it's pretty much a common denominator. This started in the past. We can't change that. We're here today. The future hasn't been to our knowledge yet, but we can learn a lesson from what happened in the past. And that would be my recommendation to the UAB, and it's in the city code, how they are to evaluate each and every one of our utilities and forward that information not only to their board members, but to us, the Board of Aldermen. I think they should do that on an annual basis, feed that up to us so we don't get blindsided by such a big number again.
But is there really a need for the 21 for 8? In 1 year, you're going to make $806,000 over what you normally make. So you're talking what, $1,500,000?
I think
What?
that would be the suggestion to get back to ground zero from 11 years ago. And, I don't know, we can't, I think that would be fiscally irresponsible to try to go back in time from 11 years ago with today's inflationary numbers.
Oh, I am talking about the budget that we have in front of us, the 25-26 budget that we have right here. That's it. And to me, there's some, I think we should definitely consider halting the gross receipts that goes to the general fund for at least 1 year. That's $412,000 right there. The general fund has $1 million in it. It's been in the cash alone, million plus, every month for the last at least, 13 months that I've been looking at. So I don't think 1 year is going to put the general fund in the red. There's a lot of, one thing connects with the other, so it's a lot that you have to consider. But I still think it can be done without the 21.5% increase.
Right.
Well, yes, and Jesse and I don't want a 21.5% increase either. And we were working on every way we can come up with finding more money without raising rates extensively. Of course, the gross receipts, we talked about that in the workshop. That is something that we can toy with as much as you want. The 2% you all suggested to me to lower it saves $87,000. Dolores is talking about 0 for the electric fund, and then you're gonna come up with around 400.
Which would be 412,000.
Yes. You know, we haven't done any increases in 10 years, and it's important for the public to know that. It's important for the public. We're going to have, so the workshop we had, and we laid out all these details when nobody attended. We do intend, as things we have better numbers, we do intend to have more of a public engagement meeting so that we can really lay out all the details for everyone so that they know. That it's been operating in the red for 3 years. We have carried our cash on hand to cover the red for 3 years, and now we're out of cash, and so here we are. Revenues are down, purchase power is up, all the everything has increased as we went through with you at the workshop. All the supplies have increased exponentially. There's the effect of Pretium not being here anymore, other industries getting solar panels. So there are a lot of things that play into that. I sat right here last year at our budget workshop, and remember, we couldn't get the budget in the black. What did we have to do? We took $100,000 from our reserve funds that are low anyway, put them in the operating cash. We quit putting monthly fees into the reserve funds to the tune of $261,000 a year. And we cut all of our capital projects down to $10,000 just for that Schiller Street bore. And then we used our remaining carryover, our cash on hand, all of that as well, just to get us in the black. And I sat here and I said, next year we have to raise rates. There's no more money to get anywhere. We are gonna have to raise rates. So that is what we're facing. We're trying to get creative as well. Today, we were looking at, now you all probably don't quite know how all that works, but Dolores would, how we allocate the salaries for, like even part of my salary comes out of the electric fund. So we can toss that back into heavy side on the general fund. Jesse's, the way his salary is allocated, his was heavy on the electric fund. We can distribute that more out over all the other utilities.
But he does work for the electric. He's the electric foreman.
And he's the public works director.
But the public works director's only, what, $17,000,
Do you want to find money? We're
$18,000?
trying to think creatively to find some more money, just like stopping the gross receipts.
So to be fair, Dolores, I don't spend even close to the majority of my time doing line work right now. I don't. And, you know, I was discussing this with a coworker who works in another department, and he's like, man, we should be paying way more of your salary than what we are anyway. So kind of what I approached Trish with this morning was that we take my 2,080 hours a year and we divide that amongst all the utilities equally, and then my on-call basically, and whatever call-outs we get, that would stay electric obviously. But as far as line work, I'm doing maybe 15 to 20% of my work right now is line work.
So you're talking about half of your salary would go to the other departments?
Well, it would be a fifth to each one, I guess, is because there's 5, I guess, that I'm over technically. So we'd split that 2,080 hours between all those departments rather than have it basically the 17,000 or whatever gets split up between 5 departments now.
So again, we're just trying to come up with some creative solutions that don't result in, that can bring down that 21.5%. So we're open to any creative solutions.
Have you looked at the revenue this
So-
year compared to what you have in the budget?
So those revenue numbers that I gave you guys last week, that 806, that's directly off of the 2024 calendar year consumption. There's no shooting it low. Those are the numbers. Like, that's every rate class for every kilowatt hour we consumed, every customer that we had on the system in each rate class, every kilowatt of demand that we charge. That was a direct, from that consumption, to the incoming year. And whenever I've transposed it across, I
No,
did-
I wasn't talking about your increase, the 806. I'm talking about the actual revenue that you have for the sales without an increase in the budget that you
Yes,
have right
and,
now.
and we're tracking pretty decent on it. For what we budgeted to where we're at right now, we're really close. By the time you figure a little less consumption. in
Okay, then I
spring-
need to talk to you and Trish, because I guess I'm looking at the income statement all wrong.
Well, there's a strong possibility of that, because I was too. So,
I need to just,
yeah, no, I'm all for it.
pick your brain.
Well, definitely sounds like we need to do another workshop. We need to do it sooner than later, I'm assuming. So, what works schedule-wise doesn't interfere with your other meetings?
You don't have to do it on Monday.
So I'm all in 100% on getting you a draft budget. So can we have this as one of our budget, have it as a budget workshop? If we can get to May 1 and I get you something more firm numbers. Right now, the numbers, I know you all don't quite understand how all the departments interplay together, and when this changes, and so it's kind of like a shell game until I can get it. I need to get you something a little more solid. So if we can schedule it after May 1, we can schedule just a separate, we always have a budget workshop or two, we can schedule some just specifically on electric rates. But I really need to get you, I need to get you I need to get you firmer numbers than what I have at this moment. Like I said, we're trying to work that number down already, so hopefully our starting point will be less than what we said at the last workshop.
I agree, because everything we were talking about at this table right now is all hypothetical. Not
Yes.
seeing some solid numbers, it would make things much easier.
Yeah, let me get you a first draft in front of you of the budget, and I think we can go from there.
Do it on Cinco de Mayo, May the 5th.
Maybe.
That's a Monday.
Bring in margaritas.
Sure. Bring the line. The next week we have a BOA. I don't want that. Birthday.
I would be completely fine with the budget workshop on May 5th.
May 5th?
May 5th. Yep.
You good with that, Dolores?
That is a Monday, right?
Mm.
And then do we want this one to be our sole focus to be electric, or start there and see what else we get to? Or start like we normally do with general fund and work our way
So
down?
you're talking about budget workshop and,
Well, I'm thinking electric budget workshop might need its own meeting.
Won't you have to have the electric workshop first, before you get the whole budget?
Well, I'm gonna plug in there what we have, and then we need to discuss, yeah. I need to get it to May 1st. After that, let's have an electric workshop,
May 5th,
electric budget workshop, May 5th.
Sounds good.
7 o'clock?
Okay, the May 5th is gonna be what now, a budget workshop? or
An
what?
electric budget workshop. Can you make that?
In case
I guess
it,
I'm gonna have to.
Do it at 6, okay with everybody? Yep. 6 o'clock,
PM.
PM, not
yeah,
morning.
let's make that clear.
Not morning. Okay. Hopefully we can come up with a better solution at that meeting. Okay. We have no new business. We will move to ordinances.
The first for you to consider is bill number 2025-17, an ordinance to approve a lease agreement by and between the city of Herman, Missouri and MCC Missouri LLC. It's essentially a renewal of a lease that the term expired on.
Yeah, the MediaCom cell tower ground lease, basically. They're renewing it, it's 5 years, and the rate that they were paying was $772.51. The new rate is $896.46, and that's based on the consumer price index.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
What was the dollar amount that's gonna be, 896?
896.46.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I move to place bill number 2025, 17 on its first reading.
Motion's been made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Can we do that twice, please?
Yes, ma'am.
For second reading, bill number 2025-17, an ordinance to approve a lease agreement by and between the city of Herman, Missouri and MCC Missouri LLC.
Do I have a motion to approve second reading?
I'll move to approve bill number 2025-17 as second read.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Next, for first reading, is bill number 2025-18, an ordinance to approve the vacation of the alley between and parallel to East 9th Street and East 10th Street, which connects Gellert Street and Reserve Street, to approve a proposed plat of alley vacation and to approve an alley vacation and development agreement.
Everybody understand this?
Quick, and is that down there by where Brian Scott used to live?
Yes.
It's seen the excavating going on down there. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. That need to be done the second time also?
For second reading, bill number 2025-18, an ordinance to approve the vacation of the alley between and parallel to East 9th Street and East 10th Street, which connects Gellert Street and Reserve Street, to approve a proposed plat of alley vacation and to approve an alley vacation and development agreement.
I have a motion to approve second reading.
I'll motion to approve 2025-18 second read.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Next, for first reading, bill number 2025-19, an ordinance to rezone certain lots on the 100 block of East 3rd Street from R2 two-family residential to C1 general commercial.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I will move to approve bill number 2025-19.
Motion's been made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. All right. We will move on to motions. We have a motion to approve our minutes from our last meeting.
So moved.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Next is invoice for payments. Motion to pay the bills.
I'll move we pay the bills.
Motion has been made, do I have a second? Nobody wants to pay bills?
I'll second.
No, we don't got no money, I get it. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Conditional use permit renewal for Sones Winery LLC, the outdoor liquor consumption at 400 Market Street. A motion to approve the outdoor liquor.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Caterer's permit for the Old Vine Kitchen Emporium My Fest at 210 Schiller Street, May 17, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I move to approve the caterer's permit.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oops. You abstain?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Reappoint Brian Trolley to the Utility Advisory Board.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Renewal of the health insurance, Chamber Anthem plan, and the dental and life insurance mutual of Omaha.
So this is our annual renewal. You'll see here the information our broker provided. So there aren't a lot of options for small municipalities anymore. Like Cigna and Aetna and some of those big ones, they won't even bid on us. So our broker is really happy with the chamber plan, and so am I. If you'll just flip back here to the Affordable Health Care Act numbers, and you'll see some of those crazy increases, like 40% and 33%. So those are obviously off the table. But we can keep our plan for a 12% increase, and I put here in your memo what makes up that 12%. So 4.2% of the increase is due to just inflationary administrative costs. 7.3% is due to our claims. We had several larger claims this year. And 0.4% is due to change in our demographics. Last year's renewal was 7%, the prior year was 11%. The 12% is still below the national average. So if you would be amenable to that. The dental, we're recommending moving from Equitable Dental and Life to Mutual of Omaha. So Equitable has dropped some of the providers that our employees go to. And Mutual of Omaha has a more inclusive network. There is that small percent, that rate reduction on dental is 6%. And our broker said the Mutual of Omaha service is wonderful, and Equitable's they've been radio silent when they've been trying to reach out to them, that they just can't get a hold of Equitable anymore. They're paying their bills, but they have virtually no customer service for some reason. And that would also, if we switch to Mutual, that also synced our renewal date. Our dental would then be in sync with our health renewal, and they both renew June 1 every year.
Do I have a motion to approve the insurance renewal?
So moved.
Motion is made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. The storm siren procedure modification.
Yes, so when we had our own full-time dispatch, this board, on the suggestion, or at least the question of our local dispatch, was if we wanted to sound our alarm for severe destructive thunderstorms, which has to do with 80-mile-per-hour winds. And at the time, we said yes. So that's what we've been doing here locally for the last several years. Well, now that 911 is doing the dispatching for us from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., they have all the other cities in the county, and they only sound their alarm for tornado warnings, like when one is spotted. And so they're asking if we will comply to how they do it for the rest of the county, so that they don't have to treat this one separately.
That way they have their procedure and everybody.
Yeah, and so if we choose to do that, then Vera has provided here a corrected copy of our standard operation procedures, which removed the activation for the severe destructive thunderstorm.
Remove the severe destructive thunderstorm or the tornado watch?
Ignore that, that's basically a typo. What I
Okay.
scratched through,
Okay.
it's removing the severe destructive thunderstorm.
Everybody understand?
And there's no extra cost for this?
No, there's not.
Do I have a motion to approve the change?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Approve the low bid from Gray Bar for the ballpark lighting for $63,705. And this was a budgeted expense, so.
So for the record, I'm not sure why it's on there as ballpark. It's actually for the city park. It's the fourth phase of the lighting project the park's been doing.
Oh, okay.
Replace all the old concrete lighting with the new decorative lighting that you've seen down there in other portions of the park.
Thank you for clarifying that,
Yes.
because I knew the ballpark field lighting was way more than that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Jess.
Has the Park Department approved this?
They approved it in the budget.
Okay.
Yeah, they budgeted 75, and we came in, I don't know, it was a little over 10,000 below that. Yeah. They approved the whole plan, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years in now. We took a couple pauses because of the ballpark lighting. We knew that was gonna be a big cost for the match. And I think we've got one more phase after this one, and it'll be complete.
Very good.
Apologies on the ballpark thing. I have my wires crossed on which lighting we were talking about here, so that's on me.
Don't let that happen again.
I just thought we had a heck of a deal.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
So approved. Okay. Approve the state bid for the sewer camera trailer from Co Equipment for $205,876.03. This has been ongoing for a while and we need it.
So this is a company that goes through the state?
Correct. Sourcewell is the, I guess, consortium of bids that all get approved.
Now, is this gonna go through the, completely then the sewer department, or is it gonna get?
Correct.
Any other
We
questions?
do use it time to time for like storm sewers to, because you can put the robot in there and check out, you know, if you've got a cracked storm box or something, but it's fairly rare, so I don't think you could justify the street department covering the cost of it.
And I think I asked you this in the past, did New Haven ever charge us for loaning their sewer can?
As far as I know, they did not,
Okay.
but I don't know that for sure.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
These funds are gonna be coming out of where?
So that's what I wanted, thank you, that's what I wanted to discuss. So, turns out that, when I looked at this, when we discussed it last time, I did not realize that we were going to take it out of 41, which is where our bond money was, right? And so, we have a $200,000 CD in that account that is maturing on May 8th. When do you think our,
I could tell him to hold it till May 8th.
that would be perfect.
I'm
Otherwise,
sure
we
it
could
would.
shuffle some money. Any of those, we have the 42 wastewater account is where our debt service money sits. We could borrow that for a month and then put it back if we need to. But if you could wait till May, that'd be even better.
Oh,
Then we
sure.
have, we just pull it right out of the account that we intended to.
They may even be willing to just bill us in 30 days as far as that goes.
Yeah, that'd be
They're a
wonderful.
pretty easy group to work with.
Okay.
Everybody understand?
And that's
Just
in
as
our,
a- oh,
it's in our budget, this year's budget?
No, well, so we had budgeted, if you remember, I kind of brought this up at the previous meeting, before I went forward with bids on this. We had budgeted to do some manhole lining and pipe lining this year. And that's why I approached you guys. I would rather get this done now, ahead of getting the bond money, rather than line another couple city blocks. We can get this camera and start actually identifying problems. And just as an aside, if we'd have had this thing a week ago, January 1st would not have occurred.
Right. Any other questions? Motion to approve and to pull the money
Out of the CD.
out of the CD.
Perfect.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion made and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We're going to appoint Susan Langer as the city's member to the Greater Montgomery Port Authority Board.
So that is because Chad was our representative,
Correct.
and alderman can't serve on that board. So somebody needs to fulfill his unexpired term, which is probably, was your term 3 years?
It was a 2.
2 years, okay. So, this was that approved in like August of last year? So,
I'm 1 year in.
you're 1 year in, okay.
About a year.
Okay.
Did the Port Authority in their bylaws create any sort of, term limits on?
There are no
3
term
and
limits.
4.
There are
No, term limits, no. But they alternate. The, 3 years, 4 years, 2 years.
But if your question is, the city, I believe at any time could replace their board member.
Okay.
That's true.
Right. Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve Susan.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Appoint Alderman Chad Walton as the city liaison to the Tourism Commission and Arts Council, and appoint Alderman Ash Gears to the Board of Adjustment.
So that's a little bit of a switching around. So historically, the incoming alderman will replace the boards and commissions that the previous alderman had, which would in this case be a tourism. Derek sat on tourism, so now Chad would be on tourism. But Derek also sat on the Board of Adjustment, and Chad currently sits as a member on the Arts Council, and they're working on MyFest. And because of his involvement and knowledge and history there, he would like to serve as the liaison on that commission. And if you guys are amenable to this, Ash has agreed to move to Board of Adjustment.
Okay with everyone? If so, do I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Approve the Dollar General electric easement deed.
Okay, so we literally had this on our last meeting with the grantee being, or grantor being a Herm 1. Well, we sent them the deed to sign it, and they spit it back to me and said, we've already sold it. So this is just changing the name, nothing on the easement, all the materials exactly the same, just the owner has changed. What's their name here?
GGW Investments LLC.
Okay.
They have sold it. Do I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Festival event application for Friends of MyFest. MyFest with vendors and music, Schiller from 1st to 4th Street with requested street closures and open containers, May 17, 2025 with a May 16th setup.
So, it's on the application, but it's not necessarily listed on the agenda. They're also requesting the 200 block of East 3rd Street like they have the last couple of years.
Right. It's on the application.
As the person heading up MyFest, is that going to be enough room? Because the last report I heard on MyFest is there are going to be quite a few vendors this year.
Yeah, I think it's enough room. We'll be using some of the Sesquicentennial Park.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we're looking at
And we're still just looking at Saturday?
just Saturday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bravo on getting all the vendors.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, very
fantastic.
good. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I will make that motion.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Festival event application for the Mighty Kingdom Academy, a barbecue fundraiser at the Herman Lumber parking lot, May 17th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
This isn't new, is it? We've done this before, haven't we?
I don't think,
this is new.
this is a new one.
I make motion to approve.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Yeah. The cruisers.
Special event application for River City Cruisers, River City Cruise Car Show on 4th Street from Market to Schiller and Schiller to 3rd Street. Requested close 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. on September 6, 2025. This is an annual thing. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion is made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Special event application for the Herman High School Student Council, the Color Run, various streets, sidewalks using the same route as the Turkey Trot on May 3rd, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion is made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We have no reports. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor, before everybody breaks up, can we get, after we adjourn immediately, can we get a photo for a new photo of the board for the website, please?
Sure.
Maybe Tammy would take it for us.
Okay. Now do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for watching and coming. We appreciate you all.
Yeah, I would have combed my hair.
On to the next one.
It may not. Put fresh wear wax.
Does he still?